Hello everyone, you ready? Hello everyone, my name is Ijama Omekara, and this is our public speech that we're presenting. Demonstration speech. What I have to present real quick is how to prepare for a job interview. Now you want to think about, you're done with college, you're done whatever degree you're trying to get, and you're trying to get to the next phase in your life. What you are trying to achieve. You want to hit that big job which you've always aspired, which even was what even got you into going to acquiring your degree. Now, with this being said, you started with your resume, which is the number one thing that got you noticed. Your resume got you noticed. You got the attention of the company or whoever the interviewing personnel is at the company. They are calling you now. Okay, it's time for face-to-face interview. First thing you want to do is to do an extensive search on the company and whoever is going to interview you. Very important. Why? Because you don't want to be asked the question, what do you know about the company? And you're not telling them anything. You don't have any knowledge of what the company is all about. If it's a pharmaceutical company, if it is a drug company, whatever company you're trying to get to, try and make your research. And that way you are anticipating, you know what kind of question might be posed to you, your level of understanding about the company. And also, like I said earlier, whoever that's going to be interviewing you. You want to research about this kind of people to know. Ask yourself questions before the interview. You want to get ready and meet with some individual. If you're able to, ask questions, criticize yourself, make yourself prepared and gingered up. The goal about this is for you to establish a rapport and self-confidence so that when you go for the actual interview, you are acing it and you're making it, and you know you're very confident about the whole thing. The next thing you want to do is to conduct a mock interview. Why is it important? Sometimes you think you know it all. A friend, family member, you want to ask them to do a mock interview about your upcoming interview, because that way you see how prepared you are. Are you prepared for to meet such people? Are you saying the right words? And you let them criticize you, in a beautiful manner, in the sense that they're looking at your faults, they're looking at what you're not doing right, they're looking at every point that needs to be in there that is not there, and you're being corrected before the main interview date. One thing again you want to get ready for is your dressing. You don't go to an interview and you're all dressed all tattered. You don't go to an interview and you're not just dressed professional. That is the first impression. Now, your first impression that wasn't seen was your resume. Now you're having a face-to-face interview. You are going to be sitting with the interviewer. They're going to look at your professional. Men, you want to be well groomed, clean and nicely, and make sure that you're looking good. For females, you want to make sure you don't have no open-toe shoes, and you're well dressed. Make sure you're professionally dressed and ready for such an interview. Here on my slide, you can see I have a picture, though it might not be necessarily what you have to dress like, but something similar to what you're supposed to dress. In other words, get ready and be well dressed for the interview. Now, on the day of the interview, I've a situation whereby people go to interview and they are 1 minute late. It's a no-no. That you've already given an impression that interview, that job, you are not going to be up to date. You might be running late. Turning in the whatever assignment that is being given to you. Make sure you wake up early. Make sure you get your things prepared. Get your Google map. Know where you're going. Anticipate traffic. Make sure you have enough time. But more importantly, you don't want to get there 5-10 minutes before your scheduled time. You want to be there on time, and you want to make sure that you're there on time. When you show up at the interview, another thing is your cell phones. Lately, because of technology, we always go with our cell phones. People talk, make sure your phone is turned off or you put it in silent. You don't want in the middle of an interview, you don't want your phone to be buzzing, and or maybe you're having unexpected calls, and you know, that is one, is embarrassing to start with. So things like that you want to avoid. Again, another point is the necessary documents that you need to go with your interview. Go prepared. Go over prepared. Sometimes you say you want to go over prepared. You want to have extra copies of the resumes. You want to have your reference letters. People that you know that are backing you up with this, you know, you in search of this job. You want to make sure they are aware that you're going for such an interview, and you want to make sure you have your resumes, your reference letters. You want to have all that ready and set to go. Peradventure you're being asked, oh, do you have a copy? You can hand it over, and you never know other opportunities you might end up meeting when you go for such interviews. So after the interview, you know, after you've done the interview, and again, after the interview, you're doing the interview, be your best. Make sure you give straight and honest answers. Do not volunteer on unasked questions. And again, if you have questions while the interview is going on, you are more than welcome to ask, because that way it shows you have interest about that company you are interviewing about. So after the interview, now you want to go back and call your references. People you've used for your references, you want to call them and let them know, hey, I applied for this job, and you know, I've just did my interview, and this is, you might be getting a go. Get them all ready and knowing that the interview. So again, and after the interview too, you want to write a thank you note to the company which you've applied, which you've gone for the interview. You want to write a thank you note to them and let them know that you're still anticipating for them to, you know, offer you the job. And you might want to use that opportunity and that time to reiterate what you said to them at the interview, letting them know that you are the right candidate, the right fit for such job. So with this being said, thank you all for making out your time to listen to this 5-6 minute speech of mine. Thank you everybody, and God bless you all.